Hi, everyone. This is Milt Miller with Food Service Solutions. I'm their chief consultant and the owner of Milton Miller Consulting. And we're here for our first webinar on the easiest ways to increase participation. Webinar number 1, which is of the 7 Sins of School Lunch Programs webinar series. So welcome. School food operations are struggling for 7 main reasons, most relating to understanding and meeting the needs of today's Generation Z. In this and future webinars, we will discuss what the transformation to increased participation and increased student satisfaction looks like. What we're looking at here are the 7 pillars of increased participation, or better, as we had called them, is the 7 deadly sins, because if you aren't doing these, your participation is dropping off. So let's take a look at what they are so that you're familiar with them. Promoting and selling. School food professionals are the most modest, and I've always said this group of individuals in the world, because they do great things behind their doors every day, but they never let anybody know what they are, and that includes their students. They fail to raise awareness of their students as to what's going on, why they're doing it, and what the value is to the students. We have surveyed students and cafeteria staff when participation was low, and we would say, why is your participation low? And they would say, well, the kids don't like the food, they don't like the time that we're doing it, they're too busy. And we would survey the kids, and they would say, well, we didn't know that the food was, what was happening. We didn't know there was a breakfast program. We didn't perceive the value because nobody told us. We didn't know that there was that type of promotion. You have to raise that awareness. Your customers need to know what you're doing in order for them to support you. Offering a relevant product. Many schools do not do that. They offer products that they believe are relevant, or they give the kids what they believe the kids should have, not what the kids want and what they identify with and what's trending in today's food operations. Delivering consistently, making sure that we are providing the same quality of food, the same quality of service, the same friendly and clean atmosphere day in and day out and day in and day out, that kids can count on that. When we start to fall off, or we're not doing the same every day, or our quality slides a little bit, our students become confused and they stop participating. Understanding what the customer wants, actually talking to our customers. Parents are our customers, students are our customers, faculty and staff of our customers, even our board members are our customers, and they all have needs and they all have wants of what they want from our operation in order for them to support it. And we need to understand what they are and to make a commitment to deliver on what we understand. Communicating value. We have to let them know what is the value of that service, and not just at the point of sale, at the time that we make the sale. Happy customers are cultivated through before, during, and after the sale, that they feel good that they made that decision with us. And once we have communicated that value and we're promoting and we understand, we have a little bit better understanding of what they want, we have to really target those needs with our products and services and how we are communicating how we're going to address those needs. And we need to target them for all of our customers, whether it be adults, students, staff, parents. We need to target those, and we need to deliver on those needs. Now, for those of you that like to do scrambled words, basically this isn't scrambled, but from 1 to 7, it spells product. And that doesn't mean just the product that you sell. That means the whole product, which is your food operation or your brand. And if you're delivering and you're committed to these, and this is where schools fail, they go, oh, this is not new information, and we've thought of this and we've tried it and it didn't work. Well, trying and committing and making a conscious effort to deliver on these things is what this takes. We see this time and time and time and time over, like our founding fathers saw what the needs were in our country. We find that these truths are self-evident, that if you want better participation, you need to really take a look at these 7 things. Most school food operations are still trying to meet the needs of a new generation of diners with old concepts and product selections. Fastest way to increase participation is through serving products that are relevant to today's customers. Let's look at increased participation through improved product selection for this session, and we're going to just look at those items, because if you start with this improves your participation the fastest, because it gets the kids' attention and they start to see, wow, this is what we're really looking for. Transformation lessons that we've learned as far as when we are out and we're implementing these things in the schools that we're working with as clients, what we have learned is this: presentation matters. Not only the presentation of the food, but the way the employees look, the ambiance of the operation, the cleanliness, the decorations, the whole 9 yards. Presentation matters. Menu matters. Not just that our menu balances and that our menu meets the guidelines. Guidelines are what we need to receive money. Customers are what we need to make money. And if we're not meeting the needs of the customer with our menus, it doesn't matter how well they balance. If we're not selling any of them, we're not getting any reimbursements. And we really need to take a look at that. Kids want specific things, and menu is very, very key. It has to be relevant. And use the research available to you. There's so much out there to help you be successful. The studies of Dr. David Just in behavioral science at the Benn Institute at Cornell University, which devised the Smart Lunchroom guides and checklists. Take a look at those. Those things really work. Now, people always say, oh, that doesn't fit in my operation. Make it fit. It doesn't have to fit exactly, but if you take enough things that you can mold it to make your operation better, that's what you need to do. Saying, oh, that doesn't work for me is the easy way out. And this isn't easy, but it is very rewarding and can be very, very good for your students and the way they view your cafe operations. Let's look at everything has a life cycle. Product, service, life cycle. In the beginning, when you're starting out, you know that you need some help. Things are down, low sales, high costs, no return. You start to invest your time and your resources, and you set some goals to move towards this growth, and you commit to making, more, to creating more participation, and you get growth with increased sales, reducing costs, some profits. At maturity, you got great sales, your volume is up, so you're getting the best costs and you're getting a good return. But then things become, everything has a cycle, and they become a little less relevant and things start to decline, and then that's when you really have to realize that products have a life cycle and need to be relevant. They have to be what people are looking for and perceive a value in, and many schools are not serving a relevant product. Their products need to be revamped. They need to be redressed, dressed up. Today's sandwich is tomorrow's wrap or flatbread. They need to be looked at in a manner that you're bringing these products along and dragging them into relevancy. They need to be reinvented. Let's take a look at reinvented. Nothing has been reinvented more than the Big Mac. The Big Mac, every year, popularity, every so many years, its popularity starts to decline, and McDonald's reinvents it. I've seen it served in a hamburger snack wrap or a burger wrap, which was nothing more than a Big Mac in a wrap. They're now serving, because of health consciousness, They are now serving several different sizes of Big Macs, which is a reinvention of the Big Mac, and even down to the point that they're finding that their special sauce was being sold on eBay, so now McDonald's is selling the special sauce to create more interest for Big Macs and other products. They need to be products need to be relaunched. Once you revamp them and reinvent them that they're and you're sure that they're relevant, then you got to relaunch them and make a big deal to let your people know, and you have to raise their awareness that you have these great new products. Or if you've had them forever and they're just not working, and well, we've always sold this here. We only sold 3 now, but we've always sold these here. Let them go. Replace them. There's no sense carrying anything on inventory or trying to sell things that aren't working for you, because there are a million things that you can bring in or reinvent or revamp or make relevant that you're going to be able to sell. So if it's not relevant and you can't revamp it, you can't reinvent it, you're not going to be able to relaunch it. You might as well get rid of it and not waste your time. Ask yourself, are your current menus and products relevant to your student customers? And you really have to look at that and be very, very honest, because too many times we as the adults go, well, of course it's relevant. We like this, and this is what we would eat, and we ate this in school, so if it was good enough for us and it was good enough for our parents, these kids don't identify with it. They have so many things. They get so much information in the computer age and on their cell phones, and they're able to make decisions fast, and they can order food on their phones, and they're out and they see what other places are doing. We really have to keep up with that, and we have to remember what our customers are. So remember, menu matters. What is today's generation looking for? We have found several things that over and over and over as we travel and we survey students and we talk to kids, or we're out and we're looking at what kids are eating, it isn't all that different. They like fresh. They like to know that things are made in front of them, and open kitchens, and a lot of places are being designed with open kitchens for that reason, or places like Subway and these places that are advertising fresh. Kids want fresh. They want things that are colorful, because remember, they make decisions in seconds. Their average attention span on something before they make a decision, studies show, is about 5 seconds. So we got to get something that meets, their guideline of fresh. It's colorful, that it gets their attention, gets them thinking, and then it meets some other things. Spicy and Asian are 2 of the favorite offerings. Tex-Mex, anything that has any kind of heat, and they really love the Asian types of things, the pot stickers and the various soups and the bowls and the different things that you're able to do, as well as some of the main dishes like General Tso's and those types of things. But keep an eye on what those things are and try and bring those things in and bring them in to meet the guidelines, because kids really like them. Relevant to what they eat outside of school. What's trending? Buffalo chicken Caesar salads, grilled chicken and pasta with a white sauce, which is not necessarily an Alfredo, or a clear sauce with chicken, or even with a tomato sauce with the grilled chicken. You can do chicken Alfredo, pasta bars, any of those types of things that are trending. Wrapped, grab and go, fresh made. They really like those things, and they like fast, and they like grab and go. Pre-order, I believe, and I'm doing a lot of research about pre-order, because I believe that it is going to be the next frontier in schools. If you have the opportunity to look at pre-order software, or to learn a little bit about pre-order software, if kids can pre-order, which they do everywhere, they can send an emoji and order a pizza. They can order online for just about anything. if they had something online for school meals that they could order, pick up in a separate area that they could just grab, as long as it's presented properly and that value is there, not only the speed, but the fresh, the colorful, the nice packaging. They could grab that and go directly to the register and go out. It would be great. And at the elementary level, it would help you with liability, because kids with food allergies, their parents could actually pick the food that they were getting. They could pick it up. They knew their kids were safe. Now you know that the parents are involved, and they know that you're providing these things, and it's great. And grab and go, they love them if they're attractively packaged and they look like what they're getting outside somewhere, not just, you know, nachos thrown in a bag with some cheese, or a hoagie thrown in a bag with a handwritten sign that says hoagie, and that you put them out. They're used to getting restaurant quality things that are attractively wrapped, and you can find this packaging relatively inexpensively, but that's what it takes, and it has to be displayed. But they love that, and then that takes more heat off of your general cafeteria line, which lets you run kids who want to make more choices or see it build in front of them, or fresh, or do some type of a bar. That moves them through a lot faster, which meets their speed criteria. And you've met fresh, colorful. It can be spicy, Asian, Tex-Mex. It's relevant to what they're getting somewhere else, and it's fast. Pre-order, watch that. And if you have an opportunity, we do a pre-order. We'll send you some information if you would like that. But it is going to be something that is happening everywhere now, and these kids are used to using it. It would be great if they could use it in the schools. Remember, our students eat with their eyes just like we do. If it doesn't look fresh, if it isn't colorful, if it's not attractively packaged, if it's not in an area that is set up well and looks attractive, and it isn't half empty and is garnished, you know, they're gonna eat it, and they're gonna try it, and they're gonna like it. Don't be fooled by the saying, "Oh, the kids won't eat that." You know, they really will eat that if it's presented attractively. And if you look at these pictures on the slide, you're going to want to check out, if you haven't already, Joe Urban. He's the Director of Nutrition Services at Greenville County Schools in South Carolina. And as he shares his experiences on changing the look of school food on social media, you can take a look at it on Twitter at School Food Rocks, or on Instagram at School Food Rocks, on Facebook, LinkedIn. You could reach out to him. But he's doing a lot of things. Those meats were smoked in-house. They were locally purchased meats. He does a lot of things with his brown box stuff. You see the colorful and how attractive it is. You see even how he did the macaroni and cheese with ham, but it's changing the look. It's bright. It shows that it's fresh. I mean, it's just amazing. He did a thing with a portobello mushroom cap and fresh-made sausage, and the kids went wild over it the other week as an entree. So check those things out. But again, that's using the success stories of other people and blending them in, and blending them and bending them so that they can work within your operation. Anyone who says, "My kids won't eat that," or, "Oh, that won't work in our operation," is someone who doesn't want to try. Don't be that person. Give it a shot, because it really, really works. Tips for making your menu matter. Honestly reevaluate your products. And this is the hardest thing to do, because it was the hardest thing for me to do until my fear of being alone in my dining room because no one else was coming in because they didn't like my product drove me to actually honestly look at, is this what I think they should have, or is this what they're telling me they want and that is relevant to these kids? And that's what you need to take a look at. Set up and utilize a student advisory committee for evaluating new products. People say, "Oh, well, the kids, they give you smart answers and they don't tell you anything, or they just tell you they love you." I used to take what I call the Disciple of Christ evaluations and throw them out, and the ones that were really, really nasty and couldn't be repeated to anybody, I would throw them out because they were the two extremes. What I wanted is the truth lies somewhere in the middle, and the kids that were willing to take the time and talk to me or fill out surveys or let me sit down with them and actually give me answers to my questions, that was the group that I wanted to listen to. And once they saw that I was taking it seriously, and the other ones saw that I was taking it seriously, pretty soon everybody wanted to give me an opinion. And when they give an opinion and you give them what they want, they'll support it. Look to add fresh grab-and-go salads and sandwiches. Again, have to be restaurant quality looking. They need to be served in a manner that is very attractive and that it's easy for these kids to get to, and that they're fresh and that they can get them and they can get out. Grab and go. And they have to be top quality. Now you're saying, well, we're on a budget and we can't buy. Quality is serving food in its best possible condition. And if you take a good product, which you all have access to good product, government commodities are great product, and you handle them properly, that is quality. Try an Asian bar or a deli bar. I know everybody says, oh, bars, but they don't really work in what we have. Take a look. Hot concept for a long time was Chipotle. There is something that is set up for a straight line cafeteria situation. You come in, you can make at least 9 different products out of the 3 different meats, the couple different rices, the salsas, the lettuces, and it can either be a hard taco, it can be a burrito, it can be a salad, but there's 9 different ones. The kids come through, they can build their own or tell you what they want. It fits within the guidelines, it's healthy, it's fresh, it's colorful, and it's trending. So yes, that can work, but take a look. Don't just say, well, we can't do it, or that doesn't really work with what I have. Take a look at how you can make it work. If you do that and then you make it work, you will be surprised at the results. Give food items catchy names: X-ray vision, carrots, organic carrots, locally grown, New York carrots, New York corn, Pennsylvania corn, Pennsylvania radishes, Pennsylvania spaghetti squash. Any of those things, they're trending now. Farm to table, farm to school, buy local, grown in the school garden. Give them the names, give them those things with them that the kids identify with, and it's colorful. It talks about freshness. It talks about local, and those are the things that they're identifying with and that they can make decisions on because it gives them that information quickly, and that's how fast they process it. Homemade fresh pizzas with fresh toppings. They're getting them elsewhere. You have to do it to the quality that they're doing them elsewhere, and you can't do it halfway. Oh, well, this is good enough. Oh, well, we made all of these ahead and we cooked them too soon. And you have to really look at how you're going to handle them, serve them in their best possible condition, and serve them that they look like what they're used to getting and is relevant to them. Incorporate hot-selling restaurant items into your menu. My family doesn't always like to go to restaurants with me because I sit and look, and I've called waitresses over and said, what did you just serve at that table? Do you sell that to a lot of kids in that age group? Is this a popular item? Tell me about that item, what's in it, and that's about the time my daughter says, Dad, one more time, I'm leaving, I'm not going out to eat with you again. But I've become such a student of the industry that that's just the way that my mind works, and then I develop it into something that will fit the guidelines within my school that is indigenous to the area where I work because I've seen those kids eating those types of things. Implement flavor stations or spice stations. It adds flavor to the food. It lets them add some things and be creative. Spices are good right now as long as they're not sodium. And kids like to experiment with flavors. You'll go through the hot probably faster than anything else, but they do like that. Use information provided by the successes of others. I can't say this enough. If you talk to people, most food people, they're not going to tell you because they're not braggers, but if you ask them, they'll lay out everything they did and why it worked, and they'll light up like Christmas trees because they're very proud of it. And these are the most sharing people in any of the food industries. They want to help everybody succeed. You don't have to do what they do exactly because it may not fit your operation, but you ought to be able to bend or mold or rescue what they did into your situation and be able to use it and improve your participation there. But the information is there. Many of us just say, oh, that won't work for me, without even thinking about it. Increase the number of daily choices of relevant, trendy, healthy, fresh-made items. I know that it makes it tough with balancing the menu, but kids like choices, and you can do it several ways. There's bars, there's grab-and-goes, there's pre-orders, and there's your regular line. And you can put together a bunch of products, and using products that maybe you served yesterday that you refabricated and put on a pizza, or made a totally different product that the kids still identify with and are trendy, you're able to keep using those choices. Programs that have implemented 2 or 3 of these ideas have seen participation increases to a minimum of 7 to 8% almost overnight, and they were able to increase breakfast even a little higher than that because they handled it in the same way, and they gave kids, relevant offerings, maybe served at a kiosk as they were coming in, that they could grab, a bagel and a cup of hot cider, and that was a breakfast, or other things that they could grab quickly. They did breakfast in the classroom. They did late breakfast when after the homeroom periods or whatever. Schools have changed their breakfast times. If you can get your administration to work with you, you can quadruple your breakfast participation, because the kids want to eat it. It's just we're not giving them what they want and in the time that they want it. Ever ask yourself why free meal participation is less than 100%? We have worked in places where the free and reduced participation is barely above 50, and when we say to them, well, what's the problem here? If you can't give it away, there's a definite problem, and I don't think it's with your students. And if your kids who pay for meals don't identify with what you're doing and it's not relevant to them, that's not their problem either. That's yours. You are trying to sell them. You're not meeting the needs of your customers. CEP can help some with participation. Again, you'll get some people, but if you're not at 100% and you're in a CEP program and you're not 100% participation, there's a problem there, because if it's free to everybody and you can't give it away to everybody, there's a problem. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, you need more help, or need information on identifying products or implementing these changes in your schools, email me directly at my personal email. That's miltmiller@gmail.com. Thanks again for your participation, and I hope to be talking to you soon at our next webinar.